News to report. We're just about ready for baseball here tonight. The Cubs and the Phillies, game 3 of this 4-game set, albeit about 47, 48 minutes late. The rains have stopped here in South Philadelphia, and things are looking up as the Phils will take the field right now. Jared Eichhoff has finished up his warm-up tosses in the bullpen and made his way to the dugout, and now making his way out to the mound here at Citizens Bank Park. So we will have baseball, the Phillies and the Cubs tonight. And tonight's Cubs starting lineup is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And it looks like this for Joe Maddon's team. Dexter Fowler will lead off, play center field, followed by Kyle Schwarber and Chris Coghlan. Anthony Rizzo bats fourth, and he'll play first, followed by Chris Bryant over there at third. Montero, Javier Baez plays shortstop. The pitcher, Travis Wood, will bat eighth. And playing second base and batting ninth tonight is Tommy La Stella for the Cubs. And they will indeed, guys, face Jared Eichhoff, making his 5th start in his Phillies uniform, with a record of 1-3 on the season and an ERA of 4.70. But, guys, he has shown flashes of being very, very good, and this is the organization very excited about what they've been able to see.
Well, they should be, because he's gone out and he's had some pretty good innings. He's been snake-bitten by some bad 1 innings. You see the Budweiser scouting report, average velocity 91, fastball 62% of the time, slider 17.5% of the time, and the league is hitting a buck 67 versus his slider.
25-year-old, of course, acquired in part of the Cole Hamels trade. Future appears to be very bright for him indeed. We welcome you into the broadcast booth to Greg Murphy alongside Mike Schmidt and Matt Stairs. And, well, a little bit of a rain delay, but not as bad as it was 2 nights ago when the entire night was washed out. So we will have baseball here tonight, and the Phils looking to get back to winning ways after dominating the Cubs in Chicago a couple weeks ago. It was the Cubs that really dominated Mike last night, sweeping both games of that doubleheader.
Yeah, watched it on TV, Greg. It wasn't pretty. They definitely did dominate our club. And we have not been playing well. We talked about it in the opening. The energy seems to be a little bit low. You know, and Matty, when you don't hit, it looks that way. Yes. You know, what's wrong with the team? They just don't look like they're trying. But, you know, a good pitching game will make you look that way. If I'm not mistaken, Eichhoff's last start was in Boston.
That is correct.
Sunday, and I was there.
You were up there. That's
yes,
right. You were there.
And I watched that start, and I think it was really his, from my perspective, is only one bad start that I've seen him have.
Yeah, and as Matt pointed out, really, you know, 1 or 2 innings has been his downfall when he has not pitched well, and he got hit around early in that game. Only went 4 innings, allowed 8 hits and 6 runs. So he'll look to bounce back tonight. He's facing Dexter Fowler, who leads it off for the Chicago Cubs. The count is even 1-1. That one just a little bit outside. It's 2-1.
Just a little bit. Like a strike to me. Of course, we have that little off angle, that center field angle, which is a little off. So,
well, Ryan Blakely thought it was a little bit off the plate. You're already not agreeing, huh, Mike? It's getting pinched already. As the count moves to 3-1. It's going to be a long night. He gets his sign from Cameron Rupp, who's behind the plate tonight. Here's the 3-1 pitch.
Where's that?
For a ball, and he walks him.
We're up here shaking our heads, man.
Well, hopefully the umpires don't play into our Nissan keys of the game tonight, fellas.
Well, for me, I'll go first. Eichhoff, beware of the first pitch ambush. The Chicago Cubs are hitting .379, the second in baseball, when swinging at the first pitch.
Well, there's Freddie Galvis. That's my key, and it's really not just Freddie. It's the whole team. I mean, you can let a season get totally away from you if you don't finish it out strong. So, and Freddie's a good example of somebody that's had a great year for himself, a lot more than everybody thought we were going to get from Freddie. And you know, it can all go away with a down last 2-3 weeks of the season. So for Freddie can finish real strong and put like an exclamation point on a good year for him.
Yeah, and that has been the message around the team over the last couple of days. Don't let this month get away from you. Take advantage of it while you can. As Kyle Schwarber steps in, he was the offensive hero in game number 2 last night, and already the count is 2-0. So Cameron Rupp wants to have a conversation with Schwarber. While he does that, we'll take a look at what Schwarber was able to do last night, Matt, and well, it was impressive.
Well, it was impressive, and it did not take very long. 2 pitches, home run to center field on a fastball, and then a bomb to left center on an off-speed pitch. So it was.
And a head first slide around first.
I was about to say, not shown was the header that he took when he crossed the first base bag at that second home run. Well, the count is 2-0. Takeoff has his sign, and swing and a miss by Schwarber. It's 2-1. Schwarber batting .267, has those 15 home runs, 41 RBIs in 51 games for the Cubs rookie.
We were talking earlier. He was drafted last year, right?
Yeah, he's
spent a half a year in the minor leagues.
Yep, half a year, and young kid who has an upside that they are absolutely thrilled about. And you know, the problem with Schwarber has been, where do you play him? He's a catcher, but he's also an outfielder. He's played a little bit of both as he's made his way through, and hasn't done a whole lot of catching for the Cubs because they have a pretty good catcher, but they're finding some time out there in the outfield because of his bat. 2-1 pitch is over the inside corner for a strike. It's 2-2.
Well, he made a great play last night on Ryan Howard to extend Ryan's 0 for slump to like 34, I think, and then next time up Ryan hit a double. You know, to get to go to a 1-for-1 hot streak.
Got to start somewhere, right? As he chases back Fowler with the toss over to Darren Ruff playing first base tonight. So the count is 2-2 to Schwarber. That one was close. Fowler gets back.
Close, but he did the nice job of going back on the backside of the first base, giving him distance in between the tag.
What's he? Oh, I wonder if Whitey's in there to get by some time to see if they want to replay that.
That might be exactly what's happening. Andres Blanco coming over from third. There you see Larry Bowa on the phone. You can tell by that replay that Fowler did get his hand back in. So back on the rubber is Eichhoff. The count is 2-2 to Schwarber. 2-2 pitch. Called, third strike, and Schwarber knew it. So the first strikeout of the night for Jared Eichhoff, and the first out here in the top of the first inning. Take another look.
Uncle Charlie, big old curveball.
Yeah, that nice rotation. Tumbled, just call it a drop ball. You know, that's some seriously tight rotation on that curveball.
So with one out, Chris Coghlan will step to the plate. Coghlan batting .250, 15 home runs, 37 RBIs. See the Cubs have some success when he's in there in the third hole. Another throw over to first.
Wouldn't you think you'd put him there the whole year?
24-5 when he's there. Wonder if that would balance itself out at some point. Probably.
I don't know if you guys have touched on this, but Coghlan, did he not set a record for hits following the All-Star break 2 years ago with Miami? Was it 2 years ago?
I'd have to
post
go
All-Star
back and
break.
look that up. We'll check on that.
Maybe we can ask Carl about
Carl's
that.
already working on it. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's low for a ball. It's 2-0.
His rookie year.
Maybe I need to go back 3 years.
It was the year he won the Rookie of the Year. So I believe the following year he blew his knee out on a celebration, or
there goes the runner, Fowler, and that ball is knocked foul down the first base line, so Fowler will have to go back to first base. Take a look at the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Red Sox all over the Rays down in Tampa, but the big storyline in that game, you see it, David Ortiz has 2 home runs in that game, number 499 and number 500 in his career. So congratulations to David Ortiz. Joins Albert Pujols as the only player ever to hit career home run 499 and 500 in the same game. He was on fire when the Phillies were up there in Boston. Continues to hit the long ball.
You know, I still don't know why he came out of that Sunday game up there. Remember that?
his calf.
He had a strained calf.
Strained calf. Hit a home run the first time up.
Home run and the sacrifice fly.
So early on, Eichhoff looking for some command. He's fallen behind Coghlan 3-1. Fowler takes his lead off first. Inside for a ball. He walks. Second walk of the inning. 10 balls and 5 strikes. Not exactly what you're looking for early on out of Jared Eichhoff. That'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo, 29 home runs this season, 88 RBIs.
Well, there's a menu for success right there. Have a 4-hole hitter and a 5-hole hitter who are both going to end up with over 100 RBIs.
Exactly right. First pitch way outside. Looked like Eichhoff lost his footing. We did have rain for about an hour and a half before the game, off and on. Some of it hard at times. Grounds crew was out there for about 45 minutes before the game, trying to get the field back into tip-top shape. Fowler leads off second, Coghlan off first. And that one is swung on and hit high to right field. Drifting over is Aaron Altair, and he makes the catch. The throw comes back in. Fowler will advance to third, but that'll be the second out of the inning. That was a major league fly ball, but Altair.
That's right. Major league foul fly ball. That baby was up there, man. I was just going to, after he took that pitch, which he did, I was going to ask you what you thought of his stroke. I watched him for actually the first time in a doubleheader last night and was quite impressed with his, I don't know, you call him willingness to try to put the ball in play. You know, he's a tough guy to strike out. Now, he may have a lot of strikeouts.
Well, this was Chris Bryant last night, drilling that one to straightaway center field off the batter's eye. A monster shot. And he'll step in right now. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Runners on the corners. First pitch to Bryant is over for a strike. It's 0-1.
And that's the one he hit out, right?
Well, the other one wasn't as hard. Last night one was a little tumbler.
He is dangerous. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that is ripped foul. Wow. Thankfully that hit a seat before it hit anything else.
Well, that's the key for me and Chris Bryant, having only seen about 10 of his at bats, is if you don't loosen him up a little bit, if you allow him to just stand in there and keep that left shoulder just all over home plate, he will pound you. You have got to put some fear in this young man's mind.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Ball's in the dirt, but it doesn't matter. It gets the strikeout, the second strikeout of the inning for Eichhoff, and he gets out of a little bit of a jam that he had created himself. So we'll head to the bottom of the first with no score. On two base runners in the top of the first and unable to score a run in that. So we'll head to the bottom of the first. Here's the Phillies lineup. And tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Xfinity, official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Cesar Hernandez will play second. He'll lead off for the Phils, followed by Freddie Galvis and Odubel Herrera. Jeff Francoeur gets the start in left field, and he'll bat fourth, followed by Aaron Altair. Andres Blanco. Darren Ruff is over there at first base tonight. He'll bat seventh, followed by Cameron Rupp and Jared Eichhoff, pitching and batting ninth. And Cesar Hernandez is your leadoff tonight. And tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And Cesar Hernandez is the subject of that. He takes that first pitch from Travis Wood over for a strike. And here's the Cold Hard Fact. Brought to you by Coors Light. Once Cesar Hernandez hits leadoff for the Phils this season, the club is averaging 4.94 runs per game, which is the best average for any National League team with a specific leadoff hitter this season. So put it in the books, guys. They're going to score almost 5 runs today. That's the way it works, right?
Scores almost 5 runs when he leads off, and he's hitting, what, 380 when he's hitting in the second hole.
That's right.
But their record, his batting average is better when he hits second, but the team record is better when he hits first.
And they score more runs when he hits first, yes. It's a pretty good problem to have if you're Pete McCann. Count is 1-2 to Cesar Hernandez. Travis Wood on the hill for the Cubs. Time is called. Here's the 1-2 pitch over the outside corner for a strike. So the first strikeout for Wood. And the first out here in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up Freddie Galvis. Here are the numbers on Travis Wood, who was a late add to the Cubs lineup. Dan Herron was supposed to get the start tonight, but with the weather, we're assuming Joe Madden decided he's going to hold Dan Herron until tomorrow, and Travis Wood gets the late call. It's 5-4 on the season. Most of his games in relief, appeared in 45 games so far for the Cubs, but only 7 starts. First pitch to Freddie Galvis. It's outside for a ball. There's the Budweiser scouting report, Matt.
Yep, take a look at the Budweiser scouting report. 5-pitch pitcher, 88 to 92 miles an hour. The last pitch he struck out Cesar was a cutter, and he's 1-1 with a pretty good ERA versus the Phillies.
I only saw 4 pitches listed right there. What's the secret pitch? Did you say 5-pitch pitcher?
Fastball, cut fastball, change, curveball, slider.
There you go. 2-0 pitch. It's in the dirt. There's Herron. So he will start tomorrow. In the 4th game of this 4-game series. Phillies and Cubs. The outside corner for a strike. It's 3-1.
That was interesting. I was watching Freddie's stance right there. You notice that he was taking all the way, and he didn't push his left foot way back on the line like it is right now.
Swings at that one and pops it up to left field. Giving chase is Schwarber over by the corner, and he'll have room to make the catch. That's the second out of the inning.
Just missed that one. Probably got down on the end a little bit. Freddie's 6 home runs this year are a career high. Ties a career high. I thought maybe he might have had his 7th there.
Just missed that one. So that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. Coming in tonight, batting .297. See, 129 hits, which is best on the team this year. 8 home runs, 40 RBIs for Herrera. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Well, today's Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Bob Beaton from Vineland, New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in the game, Bob will win $200. Right down the middle for a strike. It's 0-2 to Herrera.
Gut feeling Bob's going to win $200 tonight.
All right.
He's going to win $200 tonight.
I'm sure Bob likes to hear that. You see Ryan Blakeney's behind the plate. Eric Cooper at first. Quinn Walcott over there at second. And Lance Barksdale is over there at third after having the plate in game number 2. And Herrera swings through that one. It's a pretty easy inning for Travis Wood. The Phillies go down 1-2-3. We're through one here in Philadelphia. No score. And it is Fan Appreciation Day, and all fans will receive a 2016 Phillies scheduled magnet when they come through the gates. Traditional celebrations with prizes and surprises for so many people involved here at the ballpark. So if you want to be down here for that, the final game of the year, order your tickets now at Phillies.com. We start here in the top of the second. Miguel Montero, catcher for the Cubs, will lead it off against Jared Eichhoff. Pitch swinging, 1-1.
This goes right into Matt's key to the game here today. Keep an eye on that first pitch, right?
They will attack.
High inside for a ball. It's 1-1.
Need more of that right there. More of those kind of pitches.
Get him thinking a little bit. Keep him from diving.
Well, and I agree with Micah 100%. You need more of those pitches that are inside for balls, but you also need to not get in a routine of pitching inside, then all of a sudden the next pitch goes away. Double up, triple up inside. Throw in there for a knockoff pitch. Throw in there for a strike. Just give the hitter awareness that you're going to come in there a few times.
Big breaking ball for strike three, and Montero is the third strikeout victim of the evening for Eichhoff. First out of the inning, so Javier Baez will be up. Before that, though, let's send it down to Leslie Goodell.
Hi, Murph. Earlier today, Pete Mackanin held a closed-door meeting with his team. He was the only one that spoke, and he said it didn't last very long. He just wanted to remind the guys that there's still plenty to play for. There are jobs on the line, jobs down for next year that they have potential to earn, as well as the fact that he wants them out there competing every single time they're at bat, every single time they take the field. And he said he's picking up as much about character right now as he is about skill level. So everything's being analyzed. And you may remember there's one other time this year that he did hold a closed-door meeting, and that was shortly after the All-Star break. And we know what they did then, Murph. Maybe they'll be able to rattle off some wins now after this one.
Yeah, they certainly went on a roll right after the All-Star break, and it was fun to watch them play. And Mike, it's really what you talked about at the top of the program, that this is a young team, but September can be just as important for a young team, even if they're not heading towards the postseason. There are jobs to be won for next year.
No doubt. September is a month that is going to leave an impression on Andy McPhail, who's probably sitting in one of the booths right up here near us. Scott Profrock, whatever scouts are here. Pete Mackanin, the coaching staff down below. Well, these young men are all going to be discussed as we get into the off season. And one thing you don't want to be said about you is that, it looked like he lost his energy in September. It shouldn't happen for the young players, the Altairs and Herreras, any of the young players for that matter.
Eichhoff has got that breaking ball working. Second straight strikeout for him. Fourth in the game so far. Here at the top of the second. And Matt, you talked a little bit about last night about in your career, if you could only have back some of those at-bats in September that you feel like maybe you gave away.
Well, and Mike and I were talking about that earlier, and it's so important in September. I mean, it's important throughout the year, but in September when you know that this is the lineup you're going to see every day. A few guys are going to be coming in to replace some guys, but you have to perform. There's no reason why the energy level should be at it where it is right now. I understand they're losing some games. They come across a couple of tough pitchers. But, I mean, these kids are 24, 25 years old. So to use the excuse that they're tired, I think that's an excuse. I just would like to see the energy picked up a little bit more and not give away at bats, not swing at a 1-0 changeup or a two-seamer low and away, unless that's your strength, which I don't think it is for all the players right now.
Kind of 2-1 to Travis Wood, and he pops that one straight up.
Well, that one's coming down. I'll comment on what Matt just said. Well, I think I'll hold it till next inning.
All right, hold that thought. I know Leslie Goodell also spoke to Andy McPhail about that. We'll hear about those thoughts as well when we come back. We are headed to the bottom of the second. Still no score. Both teams still looking for their first hit. Monday morning, get ready for the Eagles-Falcons season opener with Bob's Early Bird Tailgate Special. Best way to start your Eagles game day is with breakfast on Broad. Monday morning, over on the Comcast Network. And as we finished up the top of the second inning, Leslie, I was saying that I know you had a conversation with Phil's incoming president, Andy McPhail, about that very topic and how important it is for these young players.
Well, and I had asked him if Pete Mackanin had actually earned greater consideration for the role as manager next year because of the job he's done so far, and he said the answer to that is yes. He said the one thing that you can ask of a manager is for them to bring out the effort, the energy, the enthusiasm, and they've certainly seen that in the way that Pete Mackanin has handled this step. He said talent is not something that you can control, but energy level is. And by the way, Murph, if it's any indication, before yesterday's game I got one fist bump, I got 4 today. So I think the energy level is turned up a notch.
Well, that is absolutely an indication. The fist bumps will always tell you exactly what they're thinking down there in the dugout. Well, Jeff Francoeur steps in. Takes that first pitch over the outside corner for a strike.
Well, I started to make a point last inning about what Matt said. I agree with him 100%. The thing we always got to realize about baseball, it's obviously not a contact sport. There is some contact, but if you don't hit, if you're being dominated by opposing pitchers, obviously one of the reasons is concentration can be off. Pitchers could be really good. you know, there's a number of reasons why it could happen. But if you're not hitting, you look like your energy level is down. Does that make sense? I mean, you just look to everybody, and the first thing we grasp on, those of us who are supposed to talk about the game, we say, man, their energy level is, well, your energy level is not going to look up when you're trotting to first base and back into the dugout, when you're walking from home plate back to the dugout.
And a lot of factors are involved in that. Certainly good pitching is one of them, as Jeff Francoeur pops that one up behind the plate. Montero's got some room, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Well, I don't know where Chris Bryant was on that, but that catcher had to go pretty far for that.
That's what Montero was asking the bench.
What happened to Bryant, man? Would he slip over there or something?
He was watching that play. He thought Montero had it completely under control.
Yeah, Bryant's really hustling over there, right? You got room. You got room.
Oh, those third basemen, I'll tell you. So one out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Aaron Altair. First pitch is over for a strike.
A lot to like about Altair's stroke, man.
A ton. Love his approach.
Only thing you and I talked about that, and you know, I don't know if it's something that my share of coaching hitting. I don't know if it's something I would attack if I were his hitting coach, but there is a lot of movement, you know, with the open stance and the leg kick and, you know, the sort of the gliding into home plate.
Shot right off the front of the Phillies dugout.
Yeah, and it's and it's a great thing that you notice that, because I was an open stance leg kick early in my career, and when your timing is off, man, you look bad. You're late on balls like you were just there. You get caught in between. When do I start? When do I get my foot down? But when his foot gets down and his timing's on, he's got some thunder in that swing.
Well, Wood is ahead of him right now in the count, 1-2, with one out here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. Check swing. Go. So the count is even up at 2-2.
The thing that young players, some don't ever understand, is that you don't have to take a big hard swing to hit the ball out of the ballpark. The most perfect example is Odubel Herrera. I can see in my mind two little flip home runs he hit on sliders down and in with 2 strikes. You know what I mean? Just trying to bunt the ball somewhere in the infield and he hit home runs. As Altair goes down on slider down and in, it looked like to me. So there's nothing more valuable than a hitter that can choke up on the bat and say, you're not striking me out. It's kind of a cutter down in by his back leg there. I know that's a tough pitch to handle.
Well, that's the third strikeout for Wood.
But it's very tough to handle with the big swing.
Yeah.
Andres Blanco will step in. Takes that first pitch outside for a ball. Blanco batting .301 on the season. 5 home runs, 19 RBIs.
Yeah, the saying is less is more. The easier swing you take, the better bat speed you have. The harder you swing, everything tightens up and your bat speed slows down. You get some baseballs in your career, like, how did the ball go that far with that type of swing I just took? Because everything was relaxed, and the point of contact is where you exploded to the zone.
1-1 pitch, fouled off the plate. It's 1-2. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you.
It's so hard to trust a totally relaxed whip through the ball with the head of the bat and not try to supply extra power.
Bat again.
That's the second game in a row that Andres has lost his bat.
Hey, you know, one of the great hitters in Philly history was named Jay Johnstone, and nobody threw his bat at the ball more than Jay Johnstone. Might have been a little bit before you guys' time.
Oh, I remember Jay Johnstone. It's funny, we were talking about it last night, so that's the 4th time I can remember this year that Andres has lost his bat.
Hey, there's a 300 hitter right there that has a light grip on the bat.
Yes.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Blanco. Fouled again.
I'll tell you, Matt, for me, he's got to be in the thinking for next year.
I would hope
Blanco.
so.
I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, you know how you get labeled, as a part-time player or a backup player. He's such a great guy to have on the bench and all that. I'll tell you what, if he hadn't proven to some people this year with the playing time he's got and what he's done on that scoreboard right there, I'm missing something. I think this kid can play as a regular player. He brings energy.
Yeah, he is. Even back in spring training, I remember when we sat down with the coaching staff and with the front office staff, they talked about Andres Blanco and how he was almost an extra coach in that dugout as a utility player. But Mike, your point's a good one. As soon as he got inserted into that starting role when Maikel Franco went down, he has been very, very good as he fouls that one in and out of the glove of Montero.
He hits with energy. He does. I mean, obviously, I don't want to compare him to Pete Rose, but I will compare his energy level as a hitter to Pete Rose. I mean, he concentrates like crazy on every pitch. He does not give up many at bats.
2-2 pitch, line drive, center field, going back on it is Fowler on the move, and that's going to find the gap and up against the wall. Blanco's going to round second, and he'll stop right there. But there you go, an 8-pitch at bat for Andres Blanco. He fouled off 4 before he deposits that one in the right center field gap.
Perfect timing, Matty.
Well, you know what? You said it was 100% true. He gives energy at his at-bat. You can tell. He gets the pitch. He has energy. He swings the bat. And he's been driving the ball very well. He runs the bases very well. He plays the game hard. Why? Because he loves playing the game, and he does not put too much pressure on himself.
Players love him, too.
Oh, coaches do. Fans do. Broadcasters do.
That's the truth. Well, that'll bring up Darren Ruff. Ruffy batting .245 on the season. Takes that first pitch low for a ball. .245 for the season for Darren Ruff, but .373 versus left-handed pitchers this year. 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. That is why he is in the lineup tonight. He's got a chance to do some damage with 2 outs.
I thought I picked up something in batting practice today. You just tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. Does it look like he has more of a crouch as a hitter?
Getting a little lower. Fouls that one off.
Apparently not.
No.
I think Matt's let Matt study it.
I have to study it. I have to think about this.
I used to think, I thought that he stood a lot taller in the batter's box than he is right now.
I know he never stood locked knee. He always had a little bit of bend to his back leg. He could be down a little lower. I think we might have asked him earlier in the year about his changing his stance with 2 strikes. He said, no, I don't think so.
Fouled straight back. The count remains 1-2.
Now here as a hitter, here's where you really have to bring energy, and energy doesn't mean energy to hit the ball 500 feet. I'm talking about, whatever you have to do to identify the ball, get a good look at it. Don't be fooled by something off speed. Make him, identify the ball, fight off the fastball, peck at the fastball. Just put the ball in play. You never know, it might find a hole.
Right. Now, one of the reasons why he might go into a little smaller crouch is better balance. He's in an area where he can
I agree with it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Spread out, crouch down, and just, get your nose in the strike zone.
Outside for a ball. It's 2-2.
That's what we call smelling the baseball.
Yeah.
If you can't smell a baseball, that means everything opens up. You have no chance of hitting. And we talked about Darnell Sweeney yesterday, how he was pulling off the ball.
Travis Wood gets his sign. Tara sets up on the inside of the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. So he gets Darren Ruff blowing inside, and that's the second strikeout of the inning, the third out of the inning. So Phils leave one in scoring position. And after 2, still no score in Philadelphia. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Guys, the question is, in 1987, which Cub became the first player from a sixth-place team to win the National League MVP award? That answer will be revealed later in the game.
That's a tough one.
I'm not buying it. I said to Matt last night, that was our original question last night. I said, oh, this one's an easy one. You're going to get it. And then they switched it up on us. We still got the answer last night.
I'll give you a hint. His family runs a funeral home in Miami.
Is that a good hint, Matt?
I know the answer.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you both know the answer.
We're all excited because we both know the answer.
We don't have to think for 3 innings.
His nickname. You want his nickname?
Yeah.
The Hawk?
That'll give it away.
Yeah, I think that probably gave it away. Tommy La Stella is the batter for the Cubs in the 9-hole against Jared Eichhoff. Count is even 1-1.
I thought La Stella was La Stella or La Stella?
La Stella.
One of the great young hitters I've ever seen when he was with the Braves.
Oh, me too.
Well, that's because he wore the Phillies out with the Braves. Eichhoff is ahead of him 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul.
They have really accumulated a roster of good players. I mean, you may call it a rebuild. I don't know if it is or not, but I mean, you look right down that roster of Cubs players right now. There's a lot of good players on it from other teams.
Outside for a ball. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a rebuild over the last 3 seasons, perhaps, or 2 seasons, but I think they've arrived in control of their postseason destinies. That one slides outside. It's a full count now to La Stella.
Well, one thing with Eichhoff's fastball is when he is missing, he is getting underneath his fastball and he is pushing it. That's why he's missing so badly to the left-handed hitters.
And ground ball just out of the reach of Eichhoff. Blanco across the diamond over to Darren Rupp. What a play by Andres Blanco.
He's feeling it.
Yeah, he is. Cut in front of Freddie Gallis to make that play. He was the only one that was going to get it.
I'm telling you, that's some serious defense on the left side right there. In fact, the right side's pretty strong too. That's a great defensive infield. Great exchange by Blanco. Look at that. Boom, bam. That's a middle infielder making that exchange.
Gets him by a step.
By the way, the hitter did us a favor there, swinging at a 3-2 ball, almost in the dirt.
That'll bring up Dexter Fowler, who walked in his first plate appearance back in the first. And he hits a ground ball to Darren Ruff. It's easy hop. He steps on the bag. It's 2 outs. Think Energy, the smart choice to power your home. Go to mythinkenergy.com/Phillies.
I was going to say, Eichhoff, you get a hitter leading off the inning, La Stella, and I think it was 1-2, 2-2. Are you aiming at the glove on the outside corner on a 2-2 pitch? Or why don't you just fire it right down the middle and take your medicine? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just this guy's hitting nice. Sure, I know he can hit a line drive for a base hit, but the last thing you want to do is walk him, right?
Makes sense.
First pitch to Schwarber is drilled to right field. Going back on it as Altair. He's at the track, at the fence, and that one is gone. 2 rows deep. And Kyle Schwarber has his 3rd home run in 2 games here at Citizens Bank Park.
Matt, I'll let you handle that one since that was in your key to the game.
He doesn't wait around very often. When he sees a pitch, he wants to hit.
Yeah, well, he's proven that he can hit some pitches and mistake pitches. This is a fastball and off the plate. I mean, that's where Cameron wanted the ball. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat and say, nice job of getting the barrel.
No, you could say small ballpark.
True.
Well, it just sneaks out. I did not think off the bat it was going to go out. It did carry, so Cubs are on the board first, and that one is lifted to left field. Going back on it at the wall, and what a catch by Jeff Francoeur up against the wall. Chris Coghlan was about 3 feet shy of back-to-back home runs, but instead It's the third out of the inning. So the Phils catch a break right there as Francoeur makes a nice catch. But the Cubs get on the board. They lead it 1-0. Toyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Bottom of the third, Cubs with the 1-0 lead. One hit apiece for each team. The Cubs being a solo home run by Kyle Schwarber. It'll be Cameron Rupp and Jared Eichhoff, and the top of the order for the Phils here in the bottom of the third.
It's going to be interesting to see how long Travis Wood goes. He pitched last night, threw an inning last night, punched out 2. You see we got bullpen action working today, right now.
Yeah, 13 pitches last night for Travis Wood. Right now he's up against Cameron Rupp, steps in and swings and fouls that one straight back.
This is a good example of a hitter right here who pretty much has unseated Chooch as the so-called starting catcher at this point. Probably catching 4 days a week at least anyway.
And he grounds that one off his foot.
Yeah, he's a hitter from my perspective that goes too hard at everything. I mean, he's got a nice little base, a nice little foundation. He's a strong kid, and he energizes too much through the ball.
Do you think? Now let me ask this question: do you think more playing time, and when he hits the ball 430 to right center, and he clips one to left easily, do you think he's going to understand his swing, and then realize that he doesn't have to go all or nothing?
I think he needs a mentor that can explain that to him and can reinforce in his mind that a short, quick, relaxed swing keeps everything together. I don't know whether that makes sense or not, but it keeps you in sync, your big muscles, your small muscles. It allows you to relax more. It keeps the left shoulder on the ball longer.
Swings and hits that one off the handle, which center field. And Dexter Fowler has a beat on it, and that's the first out of the inning. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. One out.
And he centered that ball up very good right there. It wasn't a bad pitch. I mean, it was a good pitch. But I would say probably through contact, he tried to energize it. You know what I mean? He tried to energize it rather than just let it go where it wants to go. Try to shoot it right at the shortstop, not up in the air. And it may go up in the air, But if you try and lift it, it's going nowhere other than up in the air to the outfield or back here to us.
Jared Eichhoff finds himself down in the count 0-2. The fifth 0-2 count for Travis Wood already in this game. Check swing. And went.
He did not go.
Eric Cooper would disagree with you. And Eichhoff, he can't believe it. Take a look.
Boy, it doesn't take much nowadays, does it?
So that'll be a strikeout. And the fifth one for Travis Wood. With 2 outs here in the third inning.
And do you suppose that the Cubs were thinking that Travis Wood might go 3 or 4, and we can run Ryan Howard right out of this game by starting a left-hander?
I guess that's possible. I think the weather had a lot to do with it. The news came late that Travis Wood was going to get the start. We were expecting tomorrow for the Cubs to kind of have a bullpen type game, and but I think that Joe Madden saw the forecast and didn't want to waste Dan Herron, so decided to change things up.
Yeah, but I can see where Mike's going with this question. They could have very easily started a right-hander instead of a left-hander.
Cesar Hernandez swings through that one. Count is even at 1-1. There is Joe Madden. 1-1 pitch catches the outside corner. It's 1-2. Hernandez struck out in his first at bat back in the first inning. 1-2 pitch, ground ball towards third. It's cut off by Bryant, who loses the handle.
Bar soap.
And Hernandez will be safe at first. Bryant had to cut all the way across and try to make that play in front of Javier Baez. Just lost the handle. So,
what's your scoring decision there, Matthew?
I had to believe a base hit.
I would think that's a hit.
Off balance, bar of soap. He makes a nice play right there, but the exchange, a little bobble. What do you think? Knock, air?
Right, no, I mean, right there's the error. He caught the ball. I mean, I think he will and probably should get a hit, but it's not like he bobbled the ball. The ball went into his glove. The error or the misplay came exchanging from the glove to the hand. But most likely because of the speed of the hitter.
It is a base hit for Cesar Hernandez. Freddie Galvis steps in. He flew out to left field in his first at bat, and that's a ground ball to the right side. Stella has it. Makes the throw over to first for the third out. So, base hit in the inning for the Phils, but that's all to show for it. And we were through 3. 1-0 Cubs in South Philadelphia. Compliments of the New Jersey Education Association, and it's free to fans 14 and under on Sunday against the Cubs tomorrow. All fans at 1:35 coming in 14 and under will get that DVD. It's the end of a 4-game weekend series with the Cubs Friday through Sunday. Order your tickets for tomorrow's game at Phillies.com.
Murph, what exactly was that instrument you were playing there?
That is the jaw harp.
Jaw harp.
I years of practice.
Yeah.
to
Well,
get...
I know. I heard that in the locker room. Years of practice. But I must say, you became very good at it.
Yeah, it's exciting to be in a movie, you know. Anthony Rizzo's the batter to lead off the top of the fourth. Takes that pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The inside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. Rizzo flew out to right field. His first at bat. Nice play by Altair in foul territory. One pitch sails outside. 2-1.
He's had to feel pretty good tonight for his curveball and his fastball. Has not locked it in yet with his changeup, and we have not seen any sliders.
And that one is sky high again to right field. Aaron Altair barely has to move. He's under it, and that's the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Chris Bryant. Leslie Goodell is standing by. What do you have, Leslie?
I have our Geico quote of the day, Murph, from Cubs manager Joe Madden on Chris Bryant and his ability to drive in runs. He said, quote, when there's people on base, he becomes an even better hitter. That's been obvious from the beginning of the year. You get guys with that kind of mentality. It makes all the difference in the world, unquote. He has 90 RBI, 24 home runs. And by the way, his nickname when he was a kid was Silk, given to him by one Bryce Harper, who he grew up playing against. And when asked about it, he said it was because he did things nonchalantly and kind of smooth.
Silk. Now that is a nickname. I like it. And Matt, you and I were talking about this earlier. Half of his RBIs this year comes with 2 outs.
45 RBIs this year have come with 2 outs. The last time that happened was in 2001, Albert Pujols.
Pretty good company. It's a little high and inside for a ball. It's 2-1 now to Chris Bryant.
That's okay. I know it's a breaking ball, but I like to see the upper body move. I don't care what anybody says. You get a guy this big hanging over home plate like this, you got to do something.
Swing and miss. It's 2-2.
When we were in Chicago earlier this year, and Bryant had 1 home run that series, we saw a lot of elevated fastballs. We haven't seen a lot of elevated fastballs versus him right now. A lot of things that have been thrown have been going, down towards the knees. Curveball, the fastball. He's a very good low ball hitter.
Definitely, he's got an in and out swing or a down and up swing.
On the outside corner, called, third strike. That's the 5th strikeout for Jared Eichhoff. The 2nd time he's gotten Chris Bryant tonight.
And that's why you throw fastballs at the knees.
That's right down the middle, right down Broadway.
But it was the hardest fastball he threw all night at 93.
Well, that'll bring up Miguel Montero, who also struck out in his first at bat. That is the one thing about Chris Bryant. He will strike out a lot. He'll get you a lot of runs, hit you lots of home runs, but he will strike out a lot. Ground ball, right side. Hernandez is up with it, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Eichhoff. Just 10 pitches needed to sit the Cubs down here in the top of the 4th. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. The Cubs have a 1-0 lead. 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Budweiser, still brewed the hard way, this Bud's for you. Bottom of the fourth, Cubs with the 1-0 lead. Not a whole lot of offense to speak of for either team. Philly Fanatic looks on here at Citizens Bank Park. Odubel Herrera will lead it off for the Phils. He struck out in his first at bat. First pitch from Travis Wood. Herrera swinging through it. It's 0-1.
Matt, to me, it looks like one of the issues that next year's manager is going to have to figure out is a set lineup. You know what I'm saying? If that's at all possible, somehow, some way. And I know if you don't score runs and your team's not producing offensively, it's kind of hard to put the same one out there every day. But I think it'd be important for these guys to get comfortable in a slot in the batting order.
I agree 100%.
The 2 pitch is slapped out into left field, and that's a fair ball. Going to fall in front of Schwarber, and Herrera takes a wide turn around first, but he'll head back, and it's the 3rd hit of the game for the Phillies, and the first one for Herrera tonight.
Good hitting and good base running. Good coaching.
He was done with that gum if he wasn't going to get a double. And going to get a visit to the mound. Joe Madden.
And a pitching change.
And a pitching change as
and
well.
And a razor.
I think he's probably telling Travis Wood that's exactly what you needed to do for us tonight. As he went 3 1/3. His evening is done. So we have a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll have all the details when we come back. Stay with us. And order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup Pods. Great tasting coffee at amazing low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Well, the new pitcher for the Cubs is Trevor Cahill, making just his 3rd appearance with the Chicago Cubs, coming over from Atlanta earlier this season. Right-hander. Was drafted by the Oakland A's back in the 2nd round in 2006, and he'll face Jeff Francoeur to start. That one's off the outside corner for a ball. There you see his numbers. In 17 games so far this season, 0-3 with a 7.28 ERA. On the outside corner, I guess. For a strike. There you see his Jeff Francoeur's numbers against Cahill. He's had some success. Odubel Herrera takes his lead off of first. He singled to start the inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing. Foul back in and out of the glove of Montero.
Trevor Cahill, the scouting report on him is a fastball. You'll see 93, 94. Curveball change and a slider / cut fastball.
Cahill gets his sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Herrera starts and stops as Francoeur fouls that one off the plate. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Out of town scores. Mets over the Braves right now in the top of the 7th. 3-1. Daniel Murphy 2 for 3. He's got a couple of doubles in that game and a couple of runs scored as well, as the Mets just keep on scoring runs and keep on beating the teams right there in front of them.
I can't believe Cespedes hasn't hit a home run or a triple tonight.
Well, it's only the 7th inning, so
good point.
Give him time.
Good point.
Count is 1-2 to Jeff Francoeur. Quick throw over, and Herrera is back.
Man, we were talking about next year, set lineup. You know, I mean, you're okay the cleanup hitter if Ryan Howard's still on the team, but if Ryan's not with us next year, I see someone to stand in that cleanup spot all year as an issue.
Is that a spot that Miguel Franco could fill in?
Well, I mean, he's the candidate. You know, if Ryan's not in there right now, I mean, you see Jeff Francoeur hasn't been the leadoff cleanup hitter a lot of times in his major leagues in our cleanup spot.
He grounds that one just past the third base bag and foul.
What kind of hitter do you need to hit cleanup, or you know what I mean, 3rd, 4th, or 5th in batting order? I mean, ideally on a good ball club, it's somebody that the opposition is going to respect. Somebody that is going to force the opposition into pitching changes late in the ball game. Somebody that's going to be on their mind in the pregame meetings.
1-2 pitch outside for a ball. It's 2-2.
Say what you want about Ryan Howard, but he comes to play every day. He may not be the Ryan Howard of old, but he comes to play every day, and he'll stand in that cleanup spot and then, throw some fear in the opposition.
Another bat toss, and that one is going to go into the camera well past the Cubs dugout, and Francoeur is a strikeout victim. Look out. It's an epidemic.
Change up.
Wow.
Head down, barrel gone.
Flying bat.
Those cameras aren't cheap, by the way. Humpy took cover. I didn't even see him. Where'd you go? Well, that's one out. Herrera's still down there at first base. Aaron Altair will step in. He struck out in his first at bat. It's inside for a ball. Altair with 17 hits since being recalled to the Phillies, 10 of those for extra base hits. Take one of those right here as he takes a strike on the outside corner. Outside for a ball. It's 2-1 to Aaron Altair.
I'd like to see the team get back to stealing bases like they were doing earlier. They were under control, stealing bases, putting pressure on the defense.
Well, there he goes. Does Herrera. The throw down is not in time.
We have a bad finger here. I think he caught his finger, he caught his hand on the caught his thumb or something on the fielder's leg. Definitely was there in time. The slide just.
He's leaving. He thought he was out.
He is now.
I think time was called. So yeah, there you go. You're right.
Blanco's telling him to stay there. Okay, now the tag is applied.
Timeout.
I think
they're going to challenge.
They never. The tag.
Well, he never got to the bag.
Does Stella touch him there?
He doesn't even ever touch the bag.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He still hadn't touched the bag.
He doesn't touch it until he pounds it with his fist.
There he goes.
Yeah. So if Stella did indeed get that tag down on his foot, it was hard to tell from that angle. He will be out. As Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer, will go out and check on Odubel Herrera.
We haven't had a good argument with an umpire in a long time.
That doesn't happen anymore. Not with this replay.
The old head first slide, jam, thumb, you know, whatever. Nothing good happens with that.
Tags him right there in the leg.
And what was he going to touch the bag with there? Oh, he's going to.
Well, I assume with his left hand, but that one got caught up. So
you know what you need to do in that situation right there? You just need to slide right into that fielder's feet. Just chop his legs right out from under him, and he won't stand in front of second base like that, right? He doesn't have the ball. Just, yeah, no question that he's out. But, I mean, just slide right into his foot.
Getting the word that the runner is out. What Eric Cooper is saying. So an odd play down there at second base. The call is overturned, and that is the second out of the inning. That was a good strong throw by Montero because it looked like Herrera got a pretty good jump. I guess he would have been safe had he not got his hand caught up in the leg of Stella. So that'll be 2 outs, and the count is 2-2 to Aaron Altair, who grounds that one foul.
Is he done now? I guess he's headed to the ice machine.
Looked like maybe swing and a miss. Maybe he was bleeding a little bit. We'll have to check and see whether he comes back out. As that is the third out of the inning. Aaron Altair is down on strikes. The 6th strikeout for Cubs pitching. And we are headed to the top of the 5th. The Cubs lead by 1. Sir, we asked earlier, back in 1987, which Cub became the first player from a 6th-place team to win the National League MVP award. Both of you thought you had that. Who wants it? Who wants to answer that one?
Mr. Schmidt.
I'll do the first name, Andre
Dawson.
That was awesome. Well done. Andre Dawson is correct. 49 home runs and 137 RBIs that year. Back in 1987, he was the MVP, well deserved for a 6th-place Chicago Cubs team.
That's because he was the MVP, the most valuable player in the league. A lot of people talk about who should win the MVP. Should it go to this guy because their team's in first? No. Whoever has the best numbers is the MVP of the league. Give it to him.
I agree. Well, we remind you to log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of the Phillies prize pack. Baez steps in, count 1-1, lifts that one down the right field line, and that is foul and into the seats. So it's 1-2 to Javier Baez.
You know, they used to have a player of the year. I don't know whether they still have that or not. Did you have a player of the year, an MVP? Player of the year was usually the guy that got the player of the year award. Usually went to the player with the best stats.
That's a called third strike on the outside corner. So it's another strikeout for Jared Eichhoff, number 6. And another good breaking ball.
Yeah, watch the buckle right here. Bio 6 is going to be high. Freezes him. Great location. Very nice curveball.
So stepping in is Trevor Cahill. He'll get in a bat as he just entered the game in the 4th inning for the starter Travis Wood. And that first pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1.
He sure looks like he's throwing harder than 91. That pitch speed was 90.
Ground ball, third base. Blanco backs up on it, has it, and knows he has a pitcher running. Takes his time and makes the out over at first base. Time now for our GMC Precision Play of the game, gentlemen.
Well, here it is, chopper, and what a jump that Andres Blanco got on. Look at that exchange. Boom, in the glove, in the hand, it on the way to first base. I just hit a double, and that's how good I am at third base. That's the GMC Precision Play of the game.
So that's what was going through his head while he was doing all that? That's really impressive. Andres Blanco down there at third base, having himself a nice game. Tommy La Stella will be the batter. 0 for 1. He grounded out back in the 3rd inning. First pitch to La Stella is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Two outs here in the bottom, or excuse me, in the top of the 5th inning. Eichhoff back at work. 1-0 pitch inside for a ball. It's 2-0.
Am I to read anything into those last 2 pitches?
No. I don't think so. Well, I know where you're going with it, but I don't think so.
Well,
second baseman.
La Stella looked at him like, oh, yeah, and he was. Because that pitch was pretty far inside, and the second was inside as well.
Yeah.
You know, he went back-to-back fastballs in.
And that one is grounded to second,
which
Hernandez.
I know you. Excuse me, which I know you like, and I do too.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if that develops into anything else, because it's a 4-3 putout to end the top of the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, and Phil's down by 1. on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Get MLB.tv today. Bottom of the 5th, Cubs won on one hit, and that was the Kyle Schwarber solo home run that came back in the 3rd inning. The Phillies with 3 home runs and nothing to show for it. Yes, the Hulk. It's Kyle Schwarber. Andres Blanco will lead it off for the Phils here in the bottom of the 5th. Blanco has one of the Phillies hits. It was the double. First pitch is inside. 4 balls, 1-0. Went around on that. It's 1-1. Even count to Andres Blanco. Last 32 games, Blanco with 8 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs.
Wow. We must have a bad angle up here. Something I wish I would have done right there. Put the pine tar on my helmet. It makes a lot of sense.
Grounded foul. It's 2-2.
I never used pine tar. I used the moto stick. On the bat, golf club, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Chopsticks.
I did too. Just a little bit. I didn't like to be too sticky.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's high for a ball. It's 3-2 now. Full count to Andres Blanco. Ground ball, second base, the Stella. Up with it, throws over to Rizzo for the out. First out of the inning here in the 5th. For breaking Phillies news, you can trust that Jim Salisbury will have the most accurate report. Experience counts. Follow Phillies insider Jim Salisbury, the best source for 24/7 Phillies coverage, only on Comcast Sportsnet, csnphilly.com. Darren Ruff will step in. Struck out in his only at bat. 0 for 1 on the evening. Cahill wasting no time. First pitch is fouled.
I watch Darren like a hawk when he's playing. He's a victim of, if he's going to take the first pitch, it's a strike. He says, all right, I'm not taking it this time. The guy throws him a nasty pitch. Seems like that happens all the time to Darren.
Pops that one up behind first base. Going back on it is Rizzo. He says he has it in foul territory, and that's the second out of the inning. So Ruff pops out to third. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cameron Rupp.
It's a tough at bat right there for Darren. He takes a wipeout on the swing. I think he clipped himself in the head with the bat.
That is a tough at bat. Take a look.
Yeah, right there.
So Rupp will stand in. First pitch swinging, fouls it back off the plate. 0-1. Cameron 1 for 15 on the homestand. Trying to find that stroke that he had in August, where he hit 7 home runs. He was in the conversation for Rookie of the Month in the National League. Outside.
If you take a look at this pitch right here, we're going to get a replay on the first pitch. So watch his front shoulder right with that. There. See that front shoulder turn to the left and out away from the pitch, rather than pointing down into home plate like a Chris Bryant kind of a swing. You notice how his front shoulder covers the ball. If you're a golfer out there, you know what I mean by covering the ball with your front shoulder. That's one of Cameron's problems is he doesn't cover the ball enough with his left shoulder. That number 9 you see right there goes to the dugout.
Almost in the dirt.
Just did it again.
Yeah, it started to right there.
And the way you fix that is think right center. Hit this ball as far as you can to right center. That'll keep everything locked in.
Instead, he grounds it to third. Bryant's up with it. And that is the third out of the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Cahill and the Cubs. And we're headed to the sixth. Phillies down 1.
Was ready for the major leagues a year after being the 7th overall pick. Tuesday night, he dazzled again, locating his fastball with precision and keeping the Braves hitters off balance all game long. 7 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings, and his 6th win of the season was just the latest NOLA performance. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
Top of the 6th now. Jared Eichhoff still in the game, pitching well for the Phils, but he trails by 1. 1-0 is our score. As you take a look at Aaron Nola, some of his teammates around him. Has been good since being called up. It's his last start against those Braves. 7 innings pitched, no runs, and those 6 hits, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts, as advertised. Aaron Nola. Top of the order for the Cubs. It'll be Dexter Fowler, Kyle Schwarber, and Chris Coghlan. 1, 2, 3 for the Cubs to start the 6th inning. First pitch to Fowler is a little high for a ball. It's 1-0. Nice grab right there. Fowler's 0 for 1. Walk back in the first. Grounded out. Swings through that one. It's 1-2 now to Dexter Fowler.
Now, I meant to ask today, but since they weren't hitting on the field, when Dexter Fowler comes up and he puts the bat on his shoulder, Mike, does that bat look tiny? Looks like a 32-inch bat.
It very well could be. Use some strange lumber nowadays.
Fouls that one at the plate.
Looks like the 32-inch Black Beauty I used in Little League.
Fowler has scored 92 runs this season already. That's 3rd best in baseball.
Well, that's another sign of a good team. The guy hitting in the leadoff spot every day, the same guy scoring 100 runs.
Takes that one high for a ball. It's 2-2. He's also hit 17 home runs and knocked in 42. So doing a little bit of everything at the top of the order is Dexter Fowler. Eichhoff working quickly. The 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No. Says Lance Barksdale.
Well, there's another tendency of this generation's pitchers. I mean, you got a leadoff hitter in a 2-2 count. I don't know why they want to try to trick him. Fire it in there.
3-2 pitch is off the plate. So Dexter Fowler is a lead-off base runner. That's going to bring up Kyle Schwarber. He has the only run-produced hit today for the Chicago Cubs. And for more on the power of the rookies, let's bring in Leslie Goodell.
Yeah, Murph, they have an impressive group of rookies leading the way for this team this year. Kyle Schwarber being one of them, one of 5 who have combined to break a record for the Cubs franchise for home runs in a single season. 61 combined. Leading the way are Schwarber and Chris Bryant. Schwarber's really impressive, though, because he was drafted in the first round, as Mike said, last year. And he made his major league debut on June 16th of this year. So he's played in 52 games and has 16 home runs. I spoke with his agent earlier, former major leaguer Kent Mercker, and Mercker said he was the most advanced college hitter that he'd ever seen, and that he works exceptionally hard. And he's impressed by all that he's been able to do because he's such a hard worker. You know what's most interesting to me, though, Murph, is his hero is Johnny Bench, a guy who retired a decade before he was born. In fact, his number had been retired 7 years before Schwarber was even born.
Well, he likes the history of the game, and Johnny Bench certainly is a guy to look up to, especially if you're an aspiring catcher like Kyle Schwarber is. And he swings and hits that one right back at Eichhoff, who looks at second, where Fowler had stolen a base and gets the out at first. Fowler was able to steal that base standing up.
Murph, he wants to catch some more, and that's part of the plan for the franchise, for the Cubs down the line, is that he does get the opportunity to catch more. And right now it's just a little bit of a logjam at catcher, probably through the 2017 season. Well,
Leslie, if he keeps hitting like that, and we just saw his home run earlier in the game, they are going to find a spot for him, whether it be behind the plate or in left field or somewhere.
Well, it's great to have the versatility. I mean, who wouldn't love to have a guy who could play 2 positions solidly?
Absolutely. Joe Madden talks about the versatility of his players all the time. Thank you, Leslie. Schwarber's down with the ground ball back out to the pitcher. That'll bring up Chris Coghlan. Goff takes a look at Fowler, chases him back. Here is how Fowler made it over to second. He just cruises in. I guess he decided not to slide. Galvis couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that was strange. My comment on would be, did he think there was timeout called or something? Was it a hit and run, a missed sign? Just ran down there standing up. And what is Freddie doing, catching the ball in front of the bag rather than straddling the bag? They always make it a point to talk about tagging in spring training with the shortstop and second baseman, and demanding that they straddle the bag when they catch the ball on a steal.
That one is drilled to right field, but Aaron Altherr is right there, and he'll make the catch. That was hit too hard for Fowler to even think about advancing to third. So 2 outs, and Dexter Fowler will have to stay right where he is.
And that ball was smoked. And just to finish that point on tagging, I have yet to see a middle infielder straddle the bag on a tag play at second base.
And we haven't seen one all year. And, you know, Mike, that's a great point, saying straddle the ball, catch the ball deep at second base, because the ball gets there a lot quicker when you straddle the bag than to go get the ball. Now you got to go back and tag the runner. You know, if he has both legs right over here and straddles it, the throw gets there quick. Now you drop the tag down on the foot or the hand or the head or whatever you're going to tag.
You're exactly right. A lot of times things get erased in a baseball game. Hopefully we'll get the third out of the inning and no damage will be done. But if damage is done, it's doubled because, you know, you screw up a catch and tag.
Well, Eichhoff's going to have to deal with Anthony Rizzo, who fouls that one down on the left side, slices out of play. So it's 0-2 to Anthony Rizzo, who has flown out twice to right field in this game.
How'd you like to take him as a hitter with his knowledge of the strike zone and his sense for balance on his swing, and take that uppercut that he has and turn it into more of a top hand swing?
Well, he swings through that one, and that is the third strike and a strikeout for Jared Eichhoff. So he is able to get out of a little bit of a jam with the runner in scoring position down there at second base. No damage is done. The Phils will go back to work offensively in the bottom of the 6th. Entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies, and by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Bottom of the 6th, 3 hits for the Phils, but no runs to show for it. Just 1 hit so far for the Cubs, but it was a big one, and they lead it 1-0 in this one. Jared Eichhoff has been very, very good in this one. He's up to the bat and swings through that. So 1-1 to Eichhoff. The Eichhoff in the top of the order, Cesar Hernandez, Freddie Galvis. Fouled off. It's 0-2.
Don't you think Eichhoff's a good hitter? Matt and I were just quietly discussing that.
You know what? I think you get caught up in the 250 average.
All right, I take it back. He looks like a good hitter.
He looks hitterish.
Well, I'll tell you what. He was standing in the on-deck circle waiting to bat last inning, and I was looking down there, and I'm thinking to myself, who is that? He looks huge.
Right.
And then I realized that he's a big boy.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He probably was a cleanup hitter in high school.
I'm sure he was. Don't forget, once the Cubs leave town, those Washington Nationals are headed in for a 3-game series starting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7:05 as Cesar Hernandez grounds that one to Rizzo on the flip over in time for the second out of the inning. 7:05 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Get your tickets for the Phillies and the Nationals at Phillies.com.
Quick 2 outs.
Very quick.
Yeah, how about the umpire getting a little more energetic about this call?
Yeah, that was close. Cesar Hernandez makes him close. Eric Cooper says,
ho-hum.
Yep, I got it. That'll bring up Freddie Galvis, who's taking his time getting into the batter's box. I would imagine to give Jared Eichhoff another breath or two. He's having a conversation with Bob McClure.
Still not a fan of the leadoff hitter swinging at the first pitch.
He's over for a strike.
Doesn't matter because we score 5 when he hits leadoff.
They better start soon. Outside for a ball. It's 2-1 to Freddie Galvis. Cubs have some action in their bullpen. Clayton Richard is throwing. Lefty. Swing through that one. It's 2-2. Also Justin Grimm, the righty.
I don't know if we can get a replay of Bob McClure in the dugout right there, but was he blocking the camera so that we couldn't see what Cameron Rupp was telling Jared Eichhoff?
High and inside to Freddie Galvis. That's possible.
I was just sitting here thinking that, we've always talked about Chris Bryant being such a very good offensive player, and they're trying to figure out if he can play third, the outfield. We haven't seen one attempt on a bunt to third base against him.
Yeah, just the one sacrifice last night in the doubleheader. Make them work.
Leslie's close to the dugout. Why don't we get her to run over there and say something?
Put a bug in the rear. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Galvis. Ground ball, second base. Estella stays down on it. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for the Phils. Here's your replay.
Oh, did you see him look up at the camera?
I think you're onto something, Mike. That Bob McClure is crafty, blocking our cameras. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. And we have ourselves an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. You see Travis Wood started the game for the Cubs. He went 3+ innings and then gave way to Trevor Cahill. He's been good. Jared Eichhoff has been terrific. 6 innings pitched, just 1 hit allowed, but it was that solo home run by Kyle Schwarber. That's where we stand. It's 1-0 Cubs as we start the top of the 7th inning. Leading off for the Cubs is Chris Bryant. He's been a strikeout victim both times he's been at the plate. Swings through that one. It's 0-2 to Chris Bryant.
Good location on the slider. We haven't seen the slider very often tonight. He's been going with that big curveball, but perfect location.
Fouled back.
You like that one, didn't you, Mike?
I like it a lot. Now I want another one in the same spot right now. That's enough. That's enough inside.
0-2 pitch. It's a curveball, and it's just fouled off, so it remains 0-2 to Chris Bryant. Here you see what Eichhoff's been able to do. Pitches by inning. Very, very good. The 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. We'll do it again.
The previous pitch right here, you'll say, I'm going to show you something that really is what makes this kid a really good hitter. Watch his head. Boom. See how his head hunts that ball, his nose? That's smelling the ball right there. And he did it on the next pitch, too, the inside fastball. He's throwing him a couple of good 0-2 pitches right here.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He freezes him with the breaking ball, and he strikes him out for the 3rd time tonight. Chris Bryant walks back to the dugout. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. So that is another strikeout for Eichhoff. That is 8th.
And it's also, excuse me, Greg, it's also about 182 or 3 for Bryant, which is an amazing high number for someone with that kind of production. But I'll tell you, just to reaffirm a point with Matt, see what you think. That's what happens or can happen when you put. I don't say that. I'm sort of saying he's scared or anything, but he's got that fastball inside up under his chin, on his fists, on his mind, and he's looking out a pitcher out there that has that business tonight look on my face with the pitches to back it up.
Now it's a line shot in the right field. That'll be a base hit for Montero. That's the first hit since the 3rd inning against Jared Eichhoff. Montero is aboard with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. But I think you're right, Mike. I mean, he looks like a different pitcher than he did in Boston. He has been in complete control all night long.
For those of you that saw him in Boston, I mean, I was up in the suite over home plate watching, and I mean, I saw just a myriad of high, soft sliders with no bite on them. Just, you know what I mean? A lot of going up there.
That's a technical term, as that one sneaks into the hole. Back-to-back singles now for the Cubs as Javier Baez reaches safely. That's just the 3rd hit of the night for the Cubs. And looks like Starlin Castro has moved into the on-deck circle. So Trevor Cahill's night is done, and Starlin Castro will step in as a pinch hitter with 2 men on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. See Jemar Gomez warming up for the Phils in the Phillies bullpen. Well, Castro has been good of late. Batting .333 in his last 36 games, 35 hits in those games. In his last 5, 9 for 16 with 2 home runs. So runners lead off first and second. The first pitch to Starlin Castro is outside for a ball.
Well, that was a serious bailout right there.
got him thinking early.
And for those of you that don't know the terms, that the butt went toward the dugout and the shoulder went toward the dugout.
But the hurt was in it.
See what I mean about that?
Yeah.
He's going, whoa. Yeah. He couldn't have hit that pitch with a boat oar.
So Eichhoff has his sign from Cameron Rupp. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
That's what you call a happy feet hitter.
He does not look comfortable up there for sure.
Eichhoff stands in the middle of the rubber. He doesn't crossfire. And Castro kind of stepped out right there, and he's trying to
get his butt back in the game. He's trying to get that shoulder back in there somehow. Been there, done that.
He swings and he pops that one straight up. Off with the mask is Cameron Rupp. A few steps behind home plate. Watch out for the mask. He makes the catch.
Murph, what do we call that?
We call that a home run. Right up the elevator shaft.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the seventh, and that's a big one for Jared Eichhoff, getting Starlin Castro to pop up to his catcher. That'll bring up Tommy LaStella.
Big hitter right here. 2 outs. Getting out of this inning with the 2 men on. Keep it a 1-0 game.
And stay away from that big inning.
Well, LaStella steps in. He's grounded out twice in this game. Runners on first and second. First pitch. He's over for a strike.
You know, the balance in the outfield, to me, just visually, to me, it looks like Altair playing very shallow.
He usually does.
Hill 1 pitch, grounded foul. It's 0-2.
Now, if you look at the outfielders, how they're lined up, Frenchie doesn't matter. He goes back, comes in on balls very well. Herrera playing a little deeper. He feels more comfortable coming in on balls because he is playing a little deeper. And Herrera and Altair, where he's playing, he has all the confidence in Woodland going back on baseballs.
Well, the fans here at Citizens Bank Park are feeling it a little bit as it's 0-2. And
well, excuse me, Greg. To me, it looks like the infielders slightly to pull, and the outfielders are slightly the other way. Which is not that unusual. I mean, they play Ryan Howard that way. He played him to, go in the air of the opposite field in the outfield.
Eichhoff has his sign. The 0-2 pitch. Ground balls right side. Darren Ruff's going to flip it over to Eichhoff covering, and they do indeed get out of the inning with no damage done. So a nice job by Jared Eichhoff battling back after the 2 back-to-back singles. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. The Phils are still looking for some runs. 7th. Cubs lead at 1-0, 3 hits apiece for each team. Bob McClure talking it over with Jared Eichhoff. Headed into extra innings. Well, need a boost. Call WB Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup Pods. Great tasting coffee at amazing low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Changes for the Cubs. Baez is going to slide over from shortstop, and he'll now play second base. Addison Russell is your new shortstop. And now pitching is Justin Grimm, appearing in his 54th game. 3-4 record, and ERA at 2.30 for the Cubs. So this bullpen by committee game for the Cubs is working out all right so far for Joe Maddon. And he'll turn to Justin Grimm to see if he can keep it along. The Phils on the other side looking for a little offense, and they're going to ask Odubel Herrera, who singled his last at bat, try and start things off here in the bottom of the 7th.
Justin Grimm. It's a great pitcher's name, isn't it?
Grim indeed. Well, let's hope it's not that grim for the Phils offense. But he's got some good baseball names on this team. More conversations between Eichhoff and Bob McClure.
One thing you're going to see from Grimm is everything hard. You see the fastball, he will top load at 97. Cut fastball 81-84. Slider 82 to 85. I should say curveball, not a cut fastball. Thank you, Mike.
That's teamwork. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Herrera. Inside and low for a ball. It's 1-2.
There's just too many pitches nowadays to do that job you do about these pitchers. I don't know how you do it in 4 and 5, 6 pitches. Cut fastball, split finger, sinker, two-seamer, drop ball.
That one's in the dirt. Count is even, 2-2. It'll be Herrera, Jeff Francoeur, Aaron Altair here in the bottom of the 7th.
So, Matty, Odubel, what do you think's the perfect spot in the batting order for him?
You know, honestly, I like him in a 2-hole. I do. I think he controls. He can do some hit and runs. He has the occasional pop. Hit this heater right here. Yeah, 3 in a row. You know, he I don't know, he shortens up a little bit with his swing. He's a smart hitter. I don't think he's a 3-hole hitter. I think Michael Franco is going to be the 3-hole hitter in the future.
I actually would go as far as to say, again, I'm looking into next year. Not sure what the future holds for Ryan Howard. That's a good bounce for us right there.
Spinning foul.
I would think that Maikel Franco, if it's not Ryan Howard, probably would be your best candidate for cleanup hitter. As we know, the term cleanup hitter, I mean, I'm not so sure you have to have that guy, but we're going to be right-handed laden without Ryan Howard.
Well, Herrera has certainly proven he is versatile. I think he's batted everywhere in the lineup except for 9th this season.
He bat 4th?
I think he did at one point. I can check on that. 2-2 pitches outside for a ball. 3-2.
That's okay, you know.
I love it.
Odubel brings some energy too. He and Whitey. I wish everybody had the passion for being in that batter's box that those guys do. I wish I did.
He does appear to love the play. all the time. Fouls
Wow.
into the seats.
Oh my gosh, that's where you need a screen in front of the fans. But I don't think they'd vote on it. What did that hit? His arm? Somebody want to catch that? What did it bounce off of?
Hopefully, it looks like at the look at his hand, which was awful red, I think it bounced off of that. Herrera has not batted 4th or 9th this year. Swings and a miss. It's a strikeout. And Leslie Goodell is standing by, and she has our fan photo tonight. Leslie.
Yes, Murph, our T-Mobile fan photo. As promised earlier in the game, we selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game, and today's photo comes from @TheRealMonger. Uncle Billy Mack and the Phillies ball girl before the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to Philly Photo Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. And I wonder if that's the same ball girl I saw run out to right field earlier. She's got some speed, and they want to take a look at her.
Hey, these ball girls are athletes. No doubt about it. Uncle Billy Mack, I think I have a couple of those in my family. Good Irishman. Counts 0-1 to Jeff Francoeur. Breaking ball. Offers at it. It's 0-2 now to Francoeur with one out here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillies need some base runners, guys. And wants to go over the signs one more time with Montero. Miss, and he got it. So Francoeur goes down swinging again for the 2nd time tonight. Back-to-back strikeouts for Grimm to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, the first place New York Mets are going to make a trip into town Tuesday, September 29th at 7:05. Wednesday and Thursday as well. All 7:05 starts. Playing some very good baseball are the New York Mets. Remember what happened the last time they were in? Order your tickets now. Check it out, Phillies.com. Aaron Altair is the batter with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Altair is outside for a ball.
98 on that fastball right there, and it's not often you get a low fastball to register at 98. Bringing it.
That pitch is over for a strike.
That's the 1-0 slider on the black. Dr. Grimm.
Well, Murph, you mentioned earlier about the relievers. They have 10 punch-outs today.
Yeah. It's a little low for a ball. It's 2-1. Yeah, I would imagine if you're the Cubs coaching staff and you say to yourself, all right, we're going to try to piece together a bullpen game and see what we can do. This is best case scenario so far. The way they've been able to make their way through this game and make their way through the Phil's offense. Check swing, low. It's 3-1 now to Aaron Altair.
I think you can take a pop at one right here, right now. If I was hitting, I'd look, out over the plate, low and away, look fastball, think straight away. And I'd have taken that pitch because that was a slider, 3-1. That would have locked me up right there.
Locked up Aaron Altair, and count is now full.
Well, why won't you throw the same thing 3-2 if you throw a 3-1?
You would think.
Time is called.
Flashback. What do we call flashback when everyone stops out and yells time, time, time? They have a flashback of something negative happened throwing this pitch before.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's outside for a ball, so he walks it. So it's a base runner for the Phils with 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, that's some serious respect right there for Aaron. They'd go 3-1 slider, 3-2 slider with 2 outs. And our best hitter on deck.
That's the first walk of the day for the Cubs pitchers.
1 walk and 10 strikeouts. Pete Buchanan checking out his lineup card, as is Joe Madden. Andres Blanco will step in from the left side. Blanco 1 for 2. He takes that one over the inside corner for a strike. He's still thinking about that.
No likey.
Ground ball to the right side. Rizzo has it. It's off his glove, and everybody's going to be safe. So a break for the Phils as Anthony Rizzo took a peek to see where his pitcher was and took his eye off the ball, and that's going to be E3. Error on Anthony Rizzo, and the Phils have some life with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Good call, Murph. He took his eye off the ball. Right there, you see him peeking. Just hit him in the heel. Good call, Murph.
Let's see if the Phils can take advantage.
I just throw this out for our viewers out there. They may wonder how ready is Ryan Howard to pinch hit in this situation. My guess is he's been down in the tunnel taking some BP, hitting off the tee, maybe watching a little video. The pitching coach is going out to talk about Ryan Howard, so he'll stay in the game. No one warming up.
This is Grimm's inning for sure. We saw Ryan Howard's pinch hit numbers in his career: 293, 6 home runs as a pinch hitter. He'll take a base hit right here. Base hit would probably tie things up.
It's a catch-22 for the manager. I mean, he said he's not going to be the guy that's going to pinch hit for Ryan Howard. But he also won't play Ryan Howard if the left-hander starts.
But his numbers have been good against right-handers this year, and that's what Pete Buchanan is playing the odds right now. He also said yesterday that he wants to see Ryan Howard hit himself out of this slump that he's been in.
Well, he did. He's 1 for 1.
He'll step in. First pitch to Howard is line drive down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score at least 1. As Blanco rounds third, he's going to be held up right there, and that is a double for Ryan Howard, and the gamble pays off for Pete Buchanan.
How about them apples?
First pitch swinging.
Our manager's a genius. See that pitch speed.
Well, I tell you what I liked with Ryan was as he was concentrating on deck, he went through his routine. He never rushed himself. He went up there and he was ready for a first pitch fastball, and he got it. Very nice swing, little top hand lob. He would have got underneath that, but we will take the single. But I really liked the approach when he was on deck, preparing himself to hit. The whole time on, and there it is, the horns.
That's what you call that, the horns?
That's the El Torito.
El Torito.
Yeah, that's courtesy of Odubel Herrera. He brought that.
Here comes the left-handed power.
Brian Bogusevic checking in to pinch hit now for Cameron Rupp,
who was originally in the lineup.
Yes, he was. As was Ryan Howard. When Dan Herron was getting the start, and then everything changed, but you never know when you're going to get your opportunity to make a difference in a baseball game. Brian Bogusevic's going to get his chance right here. First pitch to him is over for a strike. So runners on second and third. 1 run across. We're tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. The Phil's hoping for a couple of more.
Well, I'll tell you that good at bat laying off the 3-2 slider. Of course, it wasn't a close pitch, but by Altair set this up, and of course Rizzo's error helped keep it alive.
All of this happening with 2 outs for the Phils. Here's the 1-1 pitch inside for a ball. It's 2-1. Grimm has his sign from Montero. Howard leads off second. Blanco off third. There's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No.
Great take. Great take. So why wouldn't he throw that pitch again with first base open?
Cody Ashley's waiting on deck.
A left-hander in the bullpen just started throwing.
Cup. 3-1 pitch.
Great hack.
Yeah, felt straight back.
Might have been ball 4, but it was a good curveball to hit. Another player that's going to be tough to keep off this team next year. Brian Bogasevic. 295, 296, something like that. In AAA this year.
Yeah, he was terrific down there in AAA all season long. Getting his chance to showcase some of his talents. Blanco starts and stops off of third. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. He walked. So the bases are loaded now for the Phils.
Where's Cody Ashley going?
Looks like he's being recalled back into the dugout. As Montero and Grimm are going to talk about what's going on.
What do you have to do? Go get a scouting report or what?
Looks like Darnell Sweeney is going to be the pinch hitter.
Interesting.
Sweeney, of course, a switch hitter. So maybe Pete was afraid they were going to change some things up.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is. He's a great guy to have on the bench because he's a switch hitter, as is Blanco. And you could put him up here in this situation right now. They can't counter with a left-hander. Well, they can always go to the side where he's supposedly statistically the weakest, but put you in a bind, the opposition.
I think Pete maybe said to himself, I think Grimm's starting to lose it here, and I want to keep him in the ball game if I can.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good point, though, Murph. It's you know, do you want to waste a guy going up there if they bring the left-hander in? You know, now you made the move, and if Joe Maddon's move if he wants to bring in a lefty or not.
Outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Well, Grimm got the first 2 guys on strikeouts, Herrera and Francoeur, but then Altair walked. Andres Blanco safe on an error. And Ryan Howard came in as a pinch hitter with a double. That scored a run. Bogasevic walked, and that's where we are now with the bases loaded. Darnell Sweeney at the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 2-0.
I will say this, though, with let's say if Frenchie wasn't playing today, and you had Cody Ashley who's going to go pinch hit, and they decide to go ahead and bring the left-hander in, then you have no problems. You will burn one guy to get to your power right-handed hitter. Been there, done it many times. I've walked up knowing I was going to get pinch hit for because the lefty was coming in.
Interesting pitch right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-0 count. Would you prevent a swing at a ball out of the strike zone by putting take on here, or you let him hack?
I'm letting him hack. He's going to come with about a 97-mile-an-hour heater.
For ball 3.
Well, how about this for a turn of events? Bases loaded now. 3-0 count to Darnell Sweeney.
Taken now, aren't we?
Oh, I'm swinging. No, I'm just kidding.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. Over for a called strike. It's 3-1.
Now I'm taking that B45 and I'm swinging it.
Outside, he walks him. And the go-ahead run is going to come across the plate for the Phillies as Andres Blanco will touch plate.
If it was a strike, of course.
And Joe Maddon's seen enough. So the Phils take the lead. All of this happening with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. It looked like Grimm had the Phils number early on with those first 2 strikeouts, no problem. Just goes to show you. So we have a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils with a 2-1 lead. A few more chances for you to get your family packs on September 12th and on October 3rd. 4 tickets, 4 Hatfield hot dogs, and 4 Cokes for $100. It is a great value for families. Good chance to come out and see a baseball game. You can order your tickets now at Phillies.com. So the Phils have them loaded here in the bottom of the 7th, already 2 across. They did so all with 2 outs. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off.
Kind of a manager's delight there, the moods in this inning, you know, putting Ryan Howard up there, bam, double, ties the game up.
Hernandez's first pitch swing, that's a base hit.
That clears the base
for at least 2 as Schwarber slides to stop that one. Here comes
Sweeney can motor.
And he is safe as well. That will clear the bases. A bases clearing double for Cesar Hernandez, and the Phils break it open.
I love when the leadoff guy swings at the first pitch.
You know they scored 5 runs when he hits leadoff, right?
And what's the score? 5-1.
That would be 5-1.
There it is. 5-1. Patience, boys. I told you patience.
Just a little bit of patience.
Nice swing. Fastball jumps all over the fastball. And the reason why Sweeney scores is that they have a little problem right there. The little bobble to get the ball on quick enough.
Yeah, that one was scooting into the gap in a hurry, and Schwarber decided he needed to slide in order to cut it off, but he ends up bobbling it. That allowed Sweeney to come around third and score. Just like that, all with 2 outs, the Phillies put a 5 spot up in the bottom of the 7th. Freddie Galvis is the 9th batter of the inning. He lifts that one into right field. And Coghlan is there for the out, but the damage has been done. Some big hits in this inning, some patient batters as well. And the Phils break it open. First it was Ryan Howard, pinch hit, boom, double. Down the right field line. Aaron Altair would score. Then the walk to Darnell Sweeney gave the Phils the lead. And then big swing by Cesar Hernandez, and the Phils have themselves a 4-run lead. They're going to head to the top of the 8th. It's the Phils 5 and the Cubs 1. ShopNissan.com. And by McDonald's. Double the lovin' at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry, just $2.50. McDonald's. I'm loving it. So after a big bottom of the 7th for the Phils, they lead it 5-1. And there are some defensive changes. We'll get to those in just a minute. Dexter Fowler will be the first to face Luis Garcia here in the top of the 8th. First pitch to Fowler, it's ground ball, and that's going to find a hole and into right field for a base hit. So it's a leadoff base runner for the Cubs here in the top of the 8th.
Don't you hate when that leadoff hitter swings at the first pitch?
It's all about perspective.
So are you careful with your first pitch with Mr. Schwarber here? Up 4 runs.
I don't know. Garcia throws a good sinker. See the numbers this year in 62 games. Tremendous sinker. If he can control that sinker, looking at a 4-6-3 double play.
Luis Garcia is the new pitcher. Eric Kratz is the catcher. He'll bat in the 8th spot. Garcia in the 9th. You saw Ryan Howard over there at first base. You see him again right there. Nice pick by Ryan Howard. Fowler gets back. Takes over for Darren Ruff over there at first base. So those are changes for the Phillies. Here's Kyle Schwarber. He is the reason the Cubs are on the board. Solo shot in the 3rd.
I find it really interesting that pitchers do not like to pitch with balls that have hit the dirt. Totally the opposite of when I played.
It's inside for a ball.
Give a pitcher a ball with a scratch on it or a scuff, or pitchers were scuffing them themselves, they could make it do all kinds of stuff. He threw the ball in the dirt to first base. He threw it out.
It is, and it's often the pitcher that is the one that's asking for the ball to be thrown out. You're right. It's inside and low for a ball. It's 2-0.
I guess it's because they have the talent nowadays to make the ball do so much. I mean, make it cut, make it sink. That scuff on the ball may hinder their sense and their feel for that.
Pitch is over for a strike, so it's 2-1 now to Schwarber. Every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. It's the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Happened in the 2nd and the 3rd for the Phils. Tonight, Kyle Schwarber swings through that. It's 2-2. Well, energy back in the ballpark right now. Nice to hear as the crowd lends their support to Luis Garcia. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's in the dirt. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Brewers and the Pirates, and that's a final. The Pirates all over Milwaukee, 10-2 in that one. Grand slam by Michael Morse. So there you see the NL Central starting to tighten up a little bit. As the Cardinals lost both games of a doubleheader today. Pirates just 2.5 games back. These Cubs 5 games back in that. Now, both of those teams most likely will be in the postseason anyway, but winning that division would certainly go a long way, helping any team. That one sails outside for a ball 4, and there's 2 on.
Big pitch right there. Now you're going to get into the meat of your order. Coghlan, Rizzo, and Bryant with 2 men on base.
Yeah, that is not what the Phils were hoping for out of Luis Garcia after scoring 5 in the bottom of the 7th. Allows the first 2 to reach here in the top of the 8th, so Bob McClure is going to go out and have a conversation with Luis Garcia.
He's going to say, son, you throw 96 with movement. Get ahead with your heater. He's got a tremendous fastball. He's been struggling as of late trying to fill out slider for strikes. 96 miles an hour at your knees with movement is a very tough pitch.
Yeah. 1
to square it, but 2 to elevate.
And our job is to talk about the game, and I would agree with you 100%. You know, we just saw that, so we're going to comment on it. And I really do think that sometimes the talent of these young pitchers, and what they have at their disposal, the 4 pitches or whatever it is, gets in the way of them getting people out.
Chris Coghlan is the batter, and that one is outside, way outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Chris Coghlan, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He walked way back in the first inning. A couple of flyouts as well. On the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1.
Got a call there.
You see the Phillies bullpen, Kenny Giles starting to loosen. Jemar Gomez back up. He's been up earlier in the game.
Kenny Giles is there for a 4-out save.
Get those first 2 outs here in the top of the 8th first. And that one is swung on, fouled back. So now 1-2 to Chris Coghlan.
On a good pitch. Now you're back in the head in the count 1-2. Now you can go ahead and try to throw that slider and get him to chase.
Once.
Yes, because the 2-2 pitch is the most important pitch.
Fowler leads off second. Schwarber off first. And that one is grounded just inside the bag, inside the first base bag. That one's going to go all the way to the corner. 1 run will score. Here comes Schwarber being waved around, and he's going to score as well with no throw. That is a 2-run double for Chris Coghlan. Just like that, the Cubs right back in it. It's 5-3.
That was the slider, Matt. That was the slider that I believe we'll see is elevated a bit. Looked like inner half to me. There it is. Slider above the belt buckle. Hammered over the first base bag. That's good hitting. Bad pitching, good hitting. You wanted that ball on his left ankle, right?
Yep, that's the one you need to bounce. And I know he didn't mean to leave it up in the zone, but that is the one where you need to really rely on bouncing that ball.
So Coghlan's double is going to chase Luis Garcia from the game. It's a pitching change here in the top of the 8th. Nationals. The Phils are happy to host College Night Series. And Monday night, it's sports management majors heading to the ballpark. And on Tuesday, journalism, PR, and communication majors. Each event will include panel discussions with Phillies professionals, a special welcome from Phillies president Pat Gillick, plus more, including special power tickets with additional concession value. You get all the information you need, or to register, you see phillies.com/college night. It's Monday and Tuesday of this week. There is a dejected Luis Garcia, who's unable to get anybody out there in the top of the 8th. 2 runs across. Chris Coughlin will be at second when Genmar Gomez takes over, appearing in his 60th game this year for the Phillies. Phil's trying to shut down the Cubs in this top of the 8th inning after pushing 5 across in the bottom of the 7th to take a 4-run lead.
So it was a double. He was over chatting with the third base coach. Messed up my perfect score sheet. We got a little predicament here, guys.
What they do. The heart of the order, Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant behind him coming up for the Cubs. First pitch swinging is Rizzo. He fouls that one back. You see the numbers on Gomez, inherited runners. Only 50% of them. Kratz flashing the signs. Gomez has it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it hits him. That's the 26th time that Anthony Rizzo has been hit by a pitch so far this season. That's the most in baseball. And he'll take his base down there at first. Now Chris Bryant represents the go-ahead run.
Well, I commend him for throwing a fastball and making sure he gets it in.
Well, he got it in all right.
You don't necessarily want this guy here at the plate as the tying run, but or actually the winning run in a 5-3. But he's got a anchor hanging around his neck right now with 3 punch outs.
One big swing could kind of erase those feelings, but fouls that one off.
Right off his knee.
That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to throw a fastball in, get it in. How'd that not break the bat?
Mike, you mentioned 3 strikeouts for Bryant tonight. That's 174 for the season. And that ties the single season record for the Chicago Cubs. Sammy Sosa also back in 1997 with 174 strikeouts. So Bryant will
probably in 100 more at bats. Maybe.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think. Bryant will certainly pass that at some point, maybe right now. That would be good news for the Phils. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
You know, going back to Rizzo about getting hit by pitches, open stance, dives in. He has nowhere to go with fastballs inside. He's a strong kid. He stays in there. He's not going to bail out. Not afraid of nothing. That's why he wears a lot of pitches in the arms or the back.
Outside for a ball. Snap throw back to second. Coughlin gets back.
Now you got to go somewhere with Bryant here right now. This is a big pitch. This shouldn't be the pitch you want to get him out on. This should be the pitch that lets you get him out on the 2-2 pitch. This is the changeup.
Gomez from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Low for a ball. It's 2-2.
Been up there a few times in my back in the day with 3 strikeouts. Going for my 4th.
Squeezing it a little tight at that point. Maybe.
No, but swinging at the first pitch.
That's when you root for the foul ball to stay fair.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-2. Miguel Montero waits on deck. 2 runners on, nobody out.
The only pitch he's thrown inside was the first pitch, where he should have broke his bat like 6 inches off the plate inside. Since then, nothing inside.
Gomez has his sign. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and drilled to left field, and that is going to drop in for a hit and go up against the wall. 1 run will score, and stopping at third will be Rizzo. It is a double for Chris Bryant, and we have a 5-4 ball game. And still nobody out in the top of the 8th.
I'm not quite sure how to comment on that, except you had a guy struck out 3 times and looked awful on 2 strikes. And what did he get there? The slider?
Hanging slider.
Hanging slider. Thrown at his front hip. Broke right over the plate.
Nothing working right now for the Phils. Miguel Montero steps in. He singled his last at bat. Got runners at second and third. He swings and fouls that one. Slices out of play. Dexter Fowler led off the inning with a single. Schwarber walked. And it was a double from Chris Coghlan. Hit by pitch on Anthony Rizzo, and a double from Chris Bryant. 3 runs across. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th.
Looked like we made the Cubs mad.
That one's drilled to center field. Herrera's going to go back on it, and he'll make the catch, but deep enough to score the tying run as Anthony Rizzo trots home. And the Cubs answer back with 4 in the top of the 8th. We're all tied up at 5. Chris Bryant moves over to third on the fly out as well.
Well, you call him a quality at bat. There's a very good quality at bat, doing a job, getting the run in and getting the runner over to third base. Very easily could have tried to hit a home run in that situation, roll one over to second base, stayed the big part of the field, sac fly, and advance the runner.
And with just 1 out, Javier Baez will step to the plate with a runner at third base. The go-ahead run down there at third base, just 90 feet away. First pitch to Baez is outside for a ball. Phil's infield is in and shifted. 3 infielders on the left side. Ryan Howard all alone on the right side. 1-0 pitch. Swing and miss. 1-1.
Amazing that you can just hit a ground ball to the right side and pretty much score the winning run as a hitter right now. The only way that it can happen is if it's tuned right to Ryan Howard. Easy play, but if he's going on contact at third, all you got to do is hit the ball the other way.
Runs inside for a ball.
Sounds easy.
Doesn't sound easy to me.
Joe Madden's trying to get the attention. Having Baez push bunt to first base.
That'll work too.
And he hits that one back up the middle. Coming on contact to play at the plate. He is out at home plate. Cesar Hernandez makes a great throw to Eric Kratz, who blocks the plate. And Joe Madden is going to want to look at that one, though.
Yeah, now we're going to see whether or not Eric Kratz blocked the plate and did not give him a sliding lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure that comes into play on a hard ground ball to the infield, though.
Well, we're going to find out.
I think the rule states that on a play like that, the catcher does not have to give a lane. Right. You see it right past the pitcher. Cesar Hernandez.
He stands out in front.
Yeah, actually.
The throw takes him into the lane.
Yeah, so it's a moot point anyway. He's going to be out at home plate. Nice play by Cesar Hernandez and by Eric Kratz.
So you.
As long
you
as
don't have to give him a lane if the ball takes you in there?
You have to give him a lane unless the ball takes you in. The throw here is down the line. He had to go into the line to receive the throw.
You know, actually,
so
that tag might have been high.
Yeah, that tag was
Watch his
high.
tag. Watch his tag. And the feet.
Gets him right
Right
there.
No, he's out.
It's close.
It was
It's
close.
closer than it looked.
I think he'll be out at home plate. All the players gathered at the pitcher's mound watching the play up on the big screen, up on Fanavision.
And this is this going to be the rule 7.13, or is this going to be a late tag appeal?
What do you think? What do you think? Watch this. Watch this.
I think it's going to be the call of blocking home plate.
He tags him there before he touches home plate.
Yeah.
It's real close, so it's closer
It is
than
close.
it looks.
It is close. Take one more look.
His left leg kind of gets stopped right here. It doesn't allow him to get extended the whole way.
There's the tag.
There's the tag. and the
Yeah,
foot
but
has to touch
how about his left? How about this foot right here being on home plate when he tags him? Watch his bottom foot.
I think it. I don't think it had gotten there yet.
Watch his bottom foot.
It's nearly impossible to tell.
because the puff is
The
dirt.
bottom foot. Here comes the.
New York is taking a look. Either way, it's almost impossible to have conclusive evidence whether or not.
Here we go again.
Yeah, this might be a better view. You're looking at his back leg, and when it touches home plate, right there. And he is out at home plate.
He was out all the way.
All the way. You know, we should mention that shift that the Phils had on, that would have been a base hit back up the middle had Hernandez not been playing on the shortstop side of the bag. So
It's true.
Very good.
nice defensive positioning for the Phils. Pete McCannon says we're going to go to our closer at this point. So Kenny Giles is going to come in the ball game. Janmark Gomez is out, but the Cubs have tied it up here in the top of the 8th. Game.
Well, you just saw Baez hits the ball up the middle. Cesar Hernandez comes up, makes a strong throw. Very nice play by Karatzi to hold onto the ball and get the tag before Chris Bryant gets to home.
Well, you see that in full speed. it doesn't look as easy to call, does
No,
it?
it doesn't. He got flipped pretty good. The result was he's out at home. So there's your Hyundai defense to play the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
So now the Phillies will turn to Ken Giles to get the final out here in the top of the 8th inning in a tie ball game. And you see Giles. Runner down there at first is Baez. But that was a big, big play for the Phils to keep this one tied up here in the 8th inning. So Addison Russell will step in. His first at bat of this ball game. He came in as part of a double switch, and that's over for a strike. One pitch is in the dirt. Austin Jackson has moved into the on-deck circle for the Cubs. If Addison Russell can keep this inning alive. 1-1 pitch. No swing. It's 2-1. It's 2-2 now to Addison Russell.
99 on the pitch meter. I believe I got to send a guy on first base at some point here.
Baez takes his lead, and there he goes. And swing and a miss, struck him out. So Kenny Giles comes in and gets the strikeout to put an end to the threat here in the top of the 8th inning, but the Cubs able to score 4 and tie it up. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 5-5. Cubs matchup only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Hopefully Marlin talking about a Phillies win. That would be ideal, but somebody's going to have to score again before we go home. We're all tied up here in the bottom of the 8th at 5. Kenny Giles will come back out here in the 9th, and he's hoping it'll be a saved situation. Pedro Strop, saw him last night. We'll see him again tonight, making his 68th appearance for the Cubbies. Record 2-6, an ERA of 3.20 for Strop. Roscoe just went 1/3 of an inning, allowed the 1 hit. His night is done. So, Phillies scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th. Excuse me, 5 in the bottom of the 7th. Only to see the Cubs answer with 4 in the top of the 8th. So, Herrera, who got things started last inning. Started off the inning last inning. We'll get a chance to do it again.
These guys have anybody other than 6'4" coming out of the bullpen?
It seems like just about everybody in baseball nowadays fit that bill. That one is a little bit high.
Good job. Good job. Now, leading off an inning right now. Good time to take a pitch. Keep yourself from swinging at a ball that's just a little bit out of the strike zone.
0 pitch to Herrera's outside for a ball. It's 3-0.
Now's a real good time to take a pitch.
They want to take 2.
Got the crooked hat going. What do they call that? I know.
Crooked hat.
Yep. I think that's the scientific name for it.
Do you ever feel weird if your Billy, your hat's over here on the left side of your head?
Ben Davis will tell you it's very uncomfortable to wear your hat that way.
I could never do that. How about that hat?
How about that?
That's okay. That's the rally hat. Oh, wait, that's a Cubs hat. Never mind.
I don't think his girlfriend was all that pleased. And that's over for a
Herrera.
strike.
Odubel, don't do that.
So the count is 3-1 here to Odubel Herrera. Here's the pitch from Strop. Line drive right off the leg of Strop and right to Tommy La Stella. What a bad break for Odubel Herrera. That one was headed into center field, but it deflected off of his leg, and that's the first out of the inning. And it's time now for the Major League Notebook.
Thank you, Murph. Time for our Major League Notebook, brought to you by St. Joseph's University. And Blue Jays shortstop Troy Tulowitzki has a small crack in his shoulder blade and upper back muscle bruises after he collided with center fielder Kevin Pillar in the first game of a doubleheader against the Yankees earlier today. He is out indefinitely. They will monitor him throughout the week. And it looks like Nationals reliever Drew Storen may be done for the season. He suffered a broken right thumb after an altercation with the lockbox in his locker, and the lockbox won. And this was after he gave up the go-ahead homer to Yoenis Cespedes in Wednesday's game against the Mets. Of course, they were swept by the Mets, and those two are two teams going in different directions. But I'm guessing there are a lot of people, a lot of pitchers who have had altercations with objects after facing Yoenis Cespedes at some point during this season.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that, Leslie. Not good news for the Nationals, not good news for the Blue Jays either. They are two major injuries to two competitors that are big parts of their teams. Certainly the Blue Jays very much in the hunt for the postseason. Meanwhile, Jeff Francoeur is down 0-2 and swings at a pitch outside and low, and he's a strikeout victim. There's Jeff Francoeur. That's the second out of the inning.
Well, especially with Drew Storen, self-inflicted injuries can cause no more pay.
Yeah, that hurts again.
If you punch a wall or you break yourself by hitting something, if ownership is willing to battle it,
very interesting.
No
Good
more
point.
Donero the rest of the year.
Well, that'll bring up Aaron Altair with 2 outs. Takes that pitch over for a strike.
I tell you, this has been a K-laden ball game.
It sure has.
Let me count these up. 1, 2, 3.
He'll get back to us. Pitch is fouled back. It's 0-2 now. It's Aaron Altair. What'd you get?
I got 16. Matt got 20.
That is lofted out into right field. And that is the final out of the inning. It is 20 strikeouts combined for the two teams tonight. And we are headed to the top of the 9th. 6-1, 5 in the 7th for the Phillies, 4 in the 8th for the Cubs, and we are tied up at 5 as we head to the top of the 9th here in Philadelphia. And on this date in Major League history, who is that guy? September 12th, 1972. Got him right. Mike Schmidt made his Major League debut against the New York Mets. Went 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. Facing Jim McAndrew.
2 strikeouts. Really?
2 strikeouts.
Got it my first hit that night. A little ground ball that snuck between third and short.
Remember that day well, I bet?
Not really.
Were you nervous?
It's a long story how I got to that point, but we'll save it for another time. It's a long story.
Well, we have another game tomorrow. First pitch from Kenny Giles misses, so it's 1-0 to Austin Jackson, making his first appearance in this game.
Either we have a new gun or he's picked up like 3 or 4 miles an hour since earlier in the year.
Kenny Giles?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him hit 99 and 100.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I mean, I remember he hit 99. He's hit 100, but early in the year, I don't remember him.
No, early in the year, he was not.
He was
hitting those numbers.
pacing himself.
It was about midway through. It was actually about when he took over as the closer when we started seeing those numbers, 98, 99, 100. So you're right about that. Count is 2-1 to Austin Jackson. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Got it.
Nice slider. 21.
Strikeout number 21 combined on the evening, and Kenny Giles gets the first out of the inning here in the top of the 9th. And they just announced this here at Citizens Bank Park. The final out at First Energy Park. The Reading Fightin' Phils are headed to the Eastern League Championship Series. They swept out the Binghamton Mets. 4-2 was the final tonight. They're celebrating in Reading tonight. Congratulations to them. Nick Williams stayed hot. 2-run home run for him in that one. And they sweep. They're headed to the Eastern League Championship Series. So congratulations to the Reading Fightin' Phils. A lot of the names that we've been talking about all season long. Some of the guys to watch celebrating tonight.
Nick Williams, one of the players from the Hamels trade, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Have a good chance of watching him here next year, I think.
Yeah, he's been real good. And some of the other guys as well. J.P. Crawford, I think, went deep in that game, if I'm not mistaken. A home run for him. Fun to watch. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Going outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
I'm looking forward to seeing Knapp, the catcher.
Yeah.
The type of hitter he is. Heard he has tremendous eye-hand coordination, good swing.
Giles has his sign. And it's a ground ball. Foul down the right side.
I wonder if they're going to employ the hitting pods system of coaching hitting in spring training.
Spring training again. That was new this year. You are a pod leader.
Yes, with all the great success we've had offensively this year.
He's looking for something new as that one sails high and outside. 3-2 now to Dexter Fowler. Bottom of the 6th out there in San Francisco. Madison Bumgarner. Perfect through 6.
Shocker.
Yes. Be a night if we didn't have at least one alert. Padres still looking for a base runner in that game. So they trailed the Giants 7-0. We'll keep you posted on that. 3-2 pitch. And check swing. No swing, and that's a walk. Dexter Fowler's on board again for the 4th time tonight with 1 out.
Well, I think, Mike, that you guys did a very good job at spring training with your hitting pods. We've seen improvements from day 1 to today. Average-wise, now next year let's work on the power side of it. You guys
start coaching the uppercut again.
You guys did
if we coach the uppercut, more guys will swing down.
Kyle Schwarber steps in. Runner on first. The first pitch to Schwarber's over for a strike. He homered back in the third inning. He also walked and scored a run in the eighth. Fowler gets his lead off first, being held on by Ryan Howard. Miles takes a look.
Pick him off.
And the throw over. Fowler gets back.
You know, I did like that spring training. That was a lot of fun. The guys coaching, the 6 guys in charge of the pods, which were overseen by Steve Henderson. That was a lot of fun for the coaches. I think the players enjoyed it too. I don't know that we can go around the roster of hitters that were there and point out tremendous success resulting from those from that coaching technique, but it sure was a lot of fun.
That is part of it, for sure. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's over for a strike. It's 0-2 now to Schwarber.
Well, and to touch on that a little bit, I mean, one, you're getting instruction from yourself, some great hitting coaches, and it's more of a personal relationship because you're only working with 6 guys. So you can pay attention to more what's going on and get closer and pay attention to more swings.
The 0-2 pitch. Grounded foul. Why don't we take a look at those pods from... There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You see my pod. As far as my pod goes, Utley hit 4 straight home runs at the end of spring training. Galvis was swinging good. Ashe, we were talking about winning a batting title. Dominic was hurt with the Achilles. Danks did pretty good. Got sent to AAA and
then it swung on and lifted down the right field line. It's going to find the seats. We'll do it again. It's 0-2. Darren Ruff.
Yeah, Darren Ruff's always been a bit of an enigma, playing behind Ryan Howard or Cody Ashe in left field, and really has not, been given a full 500, 550 at bat year. I still think he could hit at the big league level if given the 500 at bats, but that hadn't happened. So.
Swing and miss, and he got him. So Kyle Schwarber goes down swinging for the second out here in the top of the 9th inning. That's a big strikeout for Kenny Giles.
Back up slider. No break, stayed up in the zone. Get away with a good miss.
So much for that uppercut. It works when when you connect, but I don't know. I don't like it.
Well, that'll bring up Chris Coghlan, who doubled and scored a run in the 8th.
And by the way, he hit a couple other balls hard that were caught. I think he lined out to left field. And one other ball real hard.
Yep. He lined out to left and right field. He pops that one up.
We
Foul
got
territory. Andres Blanco coming in. He's got room. And he makes the catch. So Kenny Giles gets his job done. Sends this game all tied to the bottom of the 9th inning. We're all tied up at 5. Phil's looking to win it and walk off fashion. Time now for our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
That game's in 7th inning. Cesar Hernandez, first pitch off speed. Hits a double to left center. Clears the bases. Nice job right there, making the game 5-0 at that point. Very nice job. And in the 8th inning, Montero comes up and gets a deep fly ball, sac fly to tie it, and make it 5-5. That is where we stand going into the bottom of the 9th. And that is your WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, here's hoping for one more delivery as Austin Jackson stays in the game. He'll play right field for the Cubs. And now entering the game, the closer for the Cubs, Hector Rondon, entering in his 65th game for the Cubbies. We'll try to send this one to extra innings. That one's over for a strike. It's 0-1 to Andres Blanco. Phil's hoping to win this in heroic fashion at this point. Ground ball. That's foul. 0-2 to Andres Blanco.
Tell you what, it's always good when those little balls like that go foul. You know what I'm saying? You chop one down the line and it gets off the grass. It keeps you alive.
Live to fight another day. Talia Hinojosa is warming up for the Phillies. And if this goes in extra innings, we will see him in the 10th. The 0-2 pitch. It's foul back off the end of the bat. Remains 0-2. There's Hinojosa.
Another basketball player coming in to pitch. What's he, 6'8"?
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got it. Blanco goes down swinging. First out of the inning here in the bottom of the 9th. And Ryan Howard will come up. Howard got things going in the big 7th inning with a double. Scored 2. See if he can end it right here.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets a first pitch fastball this time or something off speed.
Swung on and knocked it into left field. Coming hard for it is Schwarber, and he makes the catch. So one pitch to Ryan Howard, and he flies out to left field. That's the second out of the bottom of the 9th.
That's interesting. In a game-winning situation, your best home run hitter would fly out to the opposite field.
Not what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, I don't know. From the old days, if it was an at-bat, I was going to try to drive the ball. I would more than likely early in that bat, probably not, going to say hit a flare to the opposite field. Be looking for a ball in and get the head out and maybe do some damage.
Well, Eric Kratz now looking to do some damage. It's 2-0 to him. Kratz, he entered the game in the 7th inning. 2-0 pitch.
Good take.
Yeah. Good swing, so it's 3-0 to Eric Kratz. Cody Ashley waits on deck. You see Cody?
Eric Kratz looking for the go sign here on this 3-0 pitch.
It's been a while since the Phillies walked off a winner. They run in the bottom of the 9th.
Is that easy to throw it right down the middle?
I guess when it's 3-0. Matt, you would have liked to see him swing in there?
Oh, I love when hitters swing 3-0.
Yeah, I know you do. And here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's low for a ball, so he walks him. Kratz is aboard.
Well, my next question is, do we have a runner for Eric Kratz?
advances to second base, they'll think about that.
Well, and that's the reason why I like the 3-0 swing, is because, and no disrespect to Kratzy for his speed, but the outfielders are back deep. It's going to take 2 hits to score him from first base.
Well, Cody Ashe will be the hitter.
You see the outfielders playing extremely deep.
2 outs. Kratz will be able to go on contact. And that one's driven deep to right field. Fair or foul? Fair ball hits the pole. Home run. Cody Ashe walks it off. A 2-run home run. The Phillies win it 7-5. Eric Kratz comes around to score. And just like that, the Phillies go home a winner.
What great use of your roster right there. Let's credit Pete McCann.
Absolutely.
Hey, whose hitter's pod was he in?
Ashe, mine. Yeah, good question. Jump on that first fastball, right?
Believe it or not, guys, 1 year ago today, Cody Ashe walked off with a home run against the Miami Marlins on September 12th. That was a 2-run home run in the 10th. Tonight, a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th. And the Phils go home winners. They are celebrating here in South Philadelphia.
Wow. Right off the foul pole, or the fair pole, should I say.
Cody Ashe getting some congratulations. Let's take another look.
There it was. He knew it. It's just a matter of staying fair or foul. Using that top hand, turning on a 96-mile-an-hour heater. Very nice.
Halfway up the foul pole.
Well, Leslie's going to be happy.
We haven't even gone down to Leslie yet. She's already getting Gatorade.
Let's just terminate this interview.
Why don't we go downstairs to Leslie? She's with Cody
Can we
Ashe.
take care of this now?
Go
so I
for
can
it.
get a towel? Okay, well, that's my first Gatorade shower, courtesy of Cody Ashe. Take us through that home run.
I was just going to be ready for a heater. Got the barrel on it, and now we're all drenched in water.
I'm getting out of the way for this one. I want no part of round 2. Here, you can borrow my towel.
That's not whipped cream.
You had a little. You guys had a little team meeting before this game, and Pete McCann said he talked to you guys about just finishing out strong and remembering there's something to play for. What sort of an impact did it have on you guys today?
Yeah, I think our energy level was a little bit higher today. We've been a little sluggish lately, so that was good to get a good win for us. We got a chance to even out the series tomorrow. Just got to play hard, have fun, play with energy, most importantly, and just, like you said, finish out the season strong.
Have you felt like you guys have been playing flat? Yesterday was tough. It was a long day.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the game's dictated, sometimes not, but it hadn't been ourselves what you've seen, post All-Star break. So I thought we played with good energy today, and we were able to get a win.
All right, Cody, I'll let you go. Can I borrow a pair of pants, by the way? Murph?
We're gonna take one more look at you guys. That's more than just water, Cody. That's some Gatorade as well. Welcome to the club, Leslie Goodell.
I might add, the more you show that, the more they're going to do it. Right?
Well, that may be true. How about this? A year ago today, guys, Cody Ashe going deep, walking it off with a 2-run home run deep into the night. That was in the 10th inning. And then tonight, he does it again. His second career walk-off home run. And his second on September 12th. I'll have to mark this down for next year. So the Phils go home a winner tonight. They win it 7-5. We're back to put a wrap on this one. Coming up right after this.